Hello, I'm Terrence Montgomery, also known as Terrence Christgau. I'm a theater director, an actor, teacher. I want to talk to you about my history with Luceafarul. So many years ago, a teaching colleague of mine, a native Romanian, approached me with an interest about developing a dance theater piece from a poet that I had never even heard of. I'm pretty well read and literate, and so I was surprised to hear that this poet Eminescu was the national poet of her country, and that I didn't have any knowledge of him or his work. So naturally, I asked her to bring me the poem. It was Eminescu's Luceafarul. I read an English translation that she gave me. I found it stilted. It was just, I don't know, it was hardly readable, but I realized it was probably my shortcoming because I didn't know the language at all. So I asked if there were any other translations, and she bought me two. I read the first one of these. I was ready to give up. It was very like the prior one, and I was hardly interested. It was cold. The narrative was terribly lacking, and I would say not only lacking, but actually difficult. So I pretty much was not going to take her up on the idea, and then she handed me the third translation. I have to say, when I read this, I was immediately transported into the world of the Evening Star, Catalina, the Page, and of course the Demiurge. The story was suddenly clear, the poetry bracing and bold and sweeping. I mean, I was astounded that this was the same poem as I had read before. Soon, because of my response to the poem, I found myself face to face with Adrian Sahlean, and since then we've become great friends through the process of working on this and other pieces. I've twice directed his translation as a dance theater poetry piece. We also had original music, also by a Romanian colleague, music director and composer, and original choreography by my colleague from Romania who originally proposed the idea. The second time we mounted it, we actually created a mise en scène that included Eminescu, the young Eminescu himself. And that one remains among my favorite pieces I've ever directed. I also played in the piece as a live voiceover at one point for the Demiurge, the Star, and I don't know, I found it really rich being inside the language and the poem and the translation. I don't remember the names of the other translators. I never went back to them. What I know is that Sahlean's translations are of a totally different order, revealing the great depth of understanding that he has. Sahlean is, by definition, has to be a poet himself, and one with a real strong command of the English language, or else this translation just wouldn't be possible. I hope to be able to direct this piece again, maybe many times, maybe in other countries. I think furthering the presence of Eminescu for the Western audience, for the American audience, who know very little about him, is really an important thing to do to link our two countries. And if any of this is ever going to happen, it would only be with Sahlean's translations. Eminescu is a genius. I feel he needs to be introduced to America, and Sahlean is the man to do it. Thank you.